welcome back to another episode of my Seattle Mariners franchise here on MLB The Show 25, where we have hit September. And I know I said at the end of the last episode I'd go over the stats around the league, but what I think I'm actually going to do is take this opportunity where we're way up in the division. We're fighting for the top seed in the American League. It's a lot of tight battles in the American League wild card. The NL wild card is getting pretty close to being over and done with the Phillies and the Dodgers in the National League running things and fighting for that top spot. But we're all but guaranteed the division. I think what I'd like to do is do a little simulating, do some critical game situations, and try to get through the rest of September here. That way we can just go over the stats, the awards, so on and so forth, and then we can get ready to jump into the postseason starting in the next episode. For those of you that don't know, I work a full-time job, 45 to 50 hours a week, where I travel an hour to work, an hour back. So I don't have as much time to edit and stuff, so I kind of want to change up the formula of kind of how we go through these seasons, make sure we're moving things along. I don't want to get stuck where, let's say we do make a deep playoff run, it ends up taking 25 or 30 episodes, to get through a season. At that point, it's going to be really difficult to kind of keep pace from the standpoint of me trying to get through, like my goal is to get through 5 seasons, hopefully more, but that's at least my goal. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and we'll just move through September. We'll play some critical situation stuff. I do have to add a couple of players here. I know I'm going to have to make some room on the 40-man. We're going to bring a couple of players up. I'm going to decide to bring up Samad Taylor, 26-year-old. He's not crushing it here in AAA. He's been up before, 34 career games. He gives good speed, though. 84 coming off the bench, I think, is something that's worth bringing him up for, at least keeping him on the bench. And then we'll add in another bullpen arm. Trevor Gott here has been really good. 1.81 ERA there in AAA. Thought about Pomeranz is just really, really struggling. He was tearing it up in AAA. He has been horrible in his short stint up. But God has been really good. A 1.81 ERA there in AAA. We'll bring him up and be able to utilize him in the bullpen here. Not going to bring up any of our big stars or anything. So we'll just kind of do this series by series. So in this first one, it's a tie game. We got Munoz on the mound. We'll hop in, see what we can do. Tie game late in this one. Got 2 runners on. See, our offense first in the league in stolen bases is nice, but that on-base percentage at 26. Homers, we're top 10 in the league in that, which certainly helps. So we have got 1 out, 2 runners on, 2-2 game here in the bottom of the 9th. Maybe get a pop-up here to Josh Lowe if Moore can bring it in. 1-1 count.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
Doesn't chase that one. Okay. What we're really trying to do in this episode is, move things along. And it may end up being a longer episode as I'm trying to get through as Munoz gets a strikeout there. As we try to get through September, this may end up being a longer episode than what I'm thinking it's going to be. But, we're trying to get that top seed in the American League. And while also trying to keep everything moving. So if we start to, kind of definitely fall off from that standpoint, then maybe we speed things up a little bit more. And Ha-Seong Kim hits a rocket. Robles could not get to it. 0-2 count here. Munoz. Oh. Tough slider. I don't know how Kim stood there and took that one.
2-2 to count.
Sinker outside. Try to tunnel this slider back with it. He doesn't chase. It's a 3-2 count here. Yandy Diaz on deck. Go fastball. Fouls it away. Now we can maybe tunnel that slider again. And it's a good one, and he gets 2 big strikeouts there. So Munoz able to get through that 9th without any trouble. We'll return to simulate to see if something else pops up. It does not. The Rays get a win thanks to a sac fly there from Brandon Lowe. Let's see. Got a double from Raleigh that produced an RBI and a double from Polanco that produced an RBI. Got a couple of steals here. Victor Robles, Julio got his 24th. Good start from Wu. Good job from the bullpen. Just not enough. Had 9 hits. No walks. Just couldn't knock in more runs. They had 10 and a walk, and it was able to produce another run there. Okay, so we do end up getting a loss. Maybe I need to just kind of finish playing the game whenever I jump into some of these. That way we can kind of see how it actually unfolds. But yeah, let's try to get through this Tampa Bay. Will Klein, AA. Okay, he's out for the rest of the year. We lose that game, which is not nice. We do end up with a victory here, 5-1 in the final game. Get home runs from Julio and Burleson, who, again, we traded for there at the deadline. Burleson did have an error. Bryce Miller, really, really strong start. Finally gets back to 500. Gets the victory. Now we got this Atlanta 3-game set on the road. Top 7th, 1 out. We're down a run. Burleson at the plate. Lefty versus Chris Sale. Got 1 out. 2 of the better pitching staffs in baseball. The Braves have given up quite a bit of runs, but they're first in home runs allowed. Obviously, they're a much better overall offensive team. We're a better pitching team than they are. Obviously, this is playing my favorite team. Chris Sale's been solid this year, but not great. Ooh, had a little pitch in the screen there. 0-1 count. Burleson hitting 265 now. Does not whip it. That one is a wild pitch. Now it's all about putting a ball in play that's essentially not a pop-up or a line out here on the infield. Not a lot of speed there at third base.
Oh.
Good
1 ball,
slider.
2 straight.
Come on, Burleson. See if we can get a pitch to hit. 1-2 count. And he does hit a soft liner to first base. Pretty much the one thing you could not deal with in that situation. Now it is down to Dylan Moore to try to tie the game here. Runner on. Can he find outfield grass? Not if he swings at a fastball like that. 61 clutch. Just 39 vision. That's a piece to hit, and he buries it dead into the ground. Good timing, just didn't hit it. That is a spot we have got to get. We'll return to simulate and see if another situation pops up. It does not. The Braves hand us a 1-0 loss there. Ended up having runners at second and third with 1 out. Could not get a runner across. Looks like the offense was really bad and a 3-error performance on the defense. Keep trying to plug away here. Get a victory here on the Saturday. Like Logan Gilbert had a good outing. More homers from Julio. Raleigh gets on the board. Arozarena hits 1. Gilbert with a really nice outing. Trent Thornton, Andres Munoz all look good. Roughed up Spencer Swellenbach there. Then we come back with a loss there on Sunday. Get another homer from Raleigh. Woo's kind of having some slightly lackluster starts here toward the back half of the year, but this was a problematic outing for Brash, who gives up 2 runs while just getting 1 out. Cunha, Harris, and Arcia. Now we get an opportunity here against the Cardinals. It's a weaker team. We got Burleson from them. They're a bit in a rebuild. Really need to get 2 out of 3 here because we're starting to fall behind the Yankees. Look like we're going to kind of slide really more into that 2 spot. We get 2 losses to start things off. Bottom 9th, Kansas on against Ryan Helsey. Trying to avoid getting swept by the Cardinals. That on-base percentage is horrible. 26th in baseball. At least we're league average in runs. The pitching staff's obviously been great. We hit homers. We just don't get on base a ton. Helsey obviously throws extremely hard. Kansas on 1 for 3 today. We can get that runner there. 102. It has been about a week since I played any of the show. Y'all are not near as, it hasn't been as long from when y'all are recording it. I'm trying to get ahead. Kansas got a pitch to hit. End zone got a pitch to hit, and he hits it out. Dominique Canzone off of Ryan Helsey gets a walk-off home run. Big time moment from him. That is awesome to see. Canzone, one of the more important swings of this season, able to get the walk-off home run off of Ryan Helsey. I didn't know whether or not he got enough of that one, but it turns out that he did. We get a big victory there. We avoid the sweep. That is Canzone's 10th home run, or excuse me, 11th. We did get a home run from Samad Taylor. Burleson hit his 15th there against his former team. Steals from Julio and a Rosarena. Julio trying to get to 30-30. We avoid the sweep there, which is obviously great. It's what we're trying to do and trying to accomplish. And we were able to do so there. Little Oppo home run. Now we get the Angels for a 4-game set. They have been very bad. Cade Marlowe. All right, let's send him to the bench. Let's take a look at this. So Marlowe hitting just .212. He has barely played this entire year, though. Just 9 games. Been hurt for the majority of it. We're going to send him down. I believe. What's his options looking like? Okay, we're good. We will send him down to AAA for the rest of the year, barring injuries. We lost game 1. Home team down by 2. 2 runners on. We'll simulate it. We end up losing that one 3-1. We are not playing great here in September at all. A bunch of losses on the screen. Golly, down by 1 again. Come on, guys. Yeah, offense is definitely struggling. We're still up 9 in the West, but now you're almost fighting more for a wild, like, you know, playing one of the wild card teams here. Just 1 game up on the Royals. We're 4 back of the Yankees. We need to get a couple of wins. Down by 1 again. We get another loss. Get swept by the Angels. Now we get the Royals. This is probably the most important series here of the season. Both teams 85 and 65, trying to at least get that 2nd seed in the playoffs. So we are down by 1, 2 runners on. Let's hop into this one. We might play a little bit extra here depending on how things go. Really need to get some here. All right, so it's an 0-0 count. Chris Bubik, fastball, slider, sinker. He's got a lot of movement with his stuff. Pretty much everything's going to go away from Burleson. Try to look at some the other way. We do have a runner on 2nd here. That is a well-driven ball. A little round on it, though. We'll at least move the runner up to 3rd, just in case something crazy can happen there with that. I would imagine Dylan Moore is about to come to the plate, and he does. For some reason, every time I see like the first pitch coming into these games, it's like kind of stopping as soon as the pitcher releases the ball. Kind of dropping in frame rate there. Have to get used to that. Dylan Moore fouls that one away. 0-1 count here. Just 191. Runners in scoring position 170 for the season period.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Couple guys warming up. Swing straight through it. He's a good defender with versatility, but he is a black hole there at the plate. We'll do a little quick manage. How's Kirby looking? Kirby's doing okay. Okay.
You're out.
Out there. Signal from Vinny. Melendez with a fly out. Get a 2-run homer there from Velasquez. We're now down 3. We get any offense going here at all. So Robles will try to steal. He gets it. Blanco strikes out. Julio doubles, so we get a run scored there. Raleigh walks off, gets a walk. 2 runners on. Garver strikes out. We'll take Kirby out. We'll put God in. He has not thrown a single inning, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, good inning there for him. Now it's the 9th inning. Lucas Ursig got J.P. Crawford on the mound. He brings some velocity here. That should be, nope. Hit the ball well, just hit it straight to the second baseman there. Now it's Burleson 2 outs away from losing this game.
Hey!
Good fastball. 100 on the inside black. Got to get 2 runs here.
Hey! No
That
ball,
high
2
fastball.
strikes.
I don't know if it's something about this camera angle that I use, but them high fastballs get me consistently.
Hey!
That's just beautiful pitching. Too close to watch that, but it did. There's no way I'm letting this game come down to me swinging with him. We'll take Dylan Moore out. I typically hit well with Shenton. See what we can do here. Down 2. Austin Shenton, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs.
Hey!
Got a fastball.
0-1.
Timing is definitely off right now. It has been about a week since I've turned on this game, unfortunately.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Okay. 1-1. See if Shen can get something to drive here.
Hey!
Throwing that hard
1
fastball
ball,
and then dropping
2 strikes.
the 89 changeup low in the zone. Great pitch.
Hey!
Gets me to go. Okay. The Royals get game 1 here in this series, and we are not exactly playing very well here in September. Got a really good outing there from Kirby. Ended up giving up a 2-run homer there in the 7th. Left him in a little too long. Okay. Game 2. We lose that one. So now we are 1-9 in our last 10. We have won 3 games all of September. We get swept by the Royals. So we have lost 7 games in a row. All but assuring ourselves of not being the we're probably going to have to play one of the wild card teams now at this point in time. We'll see how it ends up, though. Houston. Come on, Snyder. Okay, so we finally get off the snide here. Get a 4-3 win. Homer from Crawford. Homer from Julio. Julio's average is all the way down to 252. I'm assuming he is nowhere around the MVP award. He is not. What is he? He is definitely on a cold streak. Seeing that contact versus lefties drop. He had a big jump in power, though, this year from him against righties. He just 189 over his last 10. Maybe he heats up right here, though. 6-8. So we do score a lot of runs, but don't get any pitch in there. Rayleigh and Polanco go deep. Bryce Miller just got hit around. A couple of errors, not helping anything. Gave up 3 homers there. Come on. Do get a big victory there. So that's at least nice to see. Got a 5-1. So we finally do win a series. Garver and Arozarena there with home runs. Garver's obviously a 3-runner. It looks like Burleson gets a steal. Great start from Kirby. Snyder almost gave things away, giving up 2 hits and a walk, but Munoz able to close it out. Where does that put us now? 3 games behind the Royals. We've clinched the division. So we finally ended the Houston Astros' reign of terror here in the American League West. So we do at least have that positive going. While I can take a look at the stats, let's just kind of quickly go over, like I should be able to see. So Emerson moved him up to AA. He jumped up, I think, 3 overall points this year. Should still get some development, I would guess, the rest of the year. Hit 269, 342 on base, 409 slugging for a 751 OPS in 48 games. Hit 5 homers, 15 walks against 38 strikeouts. So not bad there at all. 2 stolen bases as well. Looks like that ended up being the right call for his development. Cole Young ended the season there a bit on a cold streak, but a 723 OPS with 10 homers, 10 stolen bases, 50 walks against 111 strikeouts, 126 games. He's getting close, up to a 67 overall. I think by the time he's 23, another year of development like this one where he can get 3 or 4 overall, and I think he can be a guy that can certainly be playing on the Major League roster. Arroyo, unfortunately got hurt, for a a couple of months of the season. He's up to 65 at 20 years old. Low B potential, 793 OPS. Hit 5 homers there in Double-A. Celestine obviously did not play at all. Got some good development, though. And then really our last guy worth mentioning, Montez struggled at Triple-A. He did hit well in Double-A, but it looks like moving him up Triple-A ended up kind of being a bad call. It hurt his development against lefties. Just a 577 OPS there. His OPS was about a 750, I think, there at Double-A. So that is a bit unfortunate. We lost a little bit of development from him, but it looks like a bat that's going to play for us. All right, so we have clinched the division. Got just 6 games left here. Let's see. We get through this Colorado series quick, and we do. So 5-0 victory here. Rayleigh and Dylan Moore hit homers. Phenomenal outing from Logan Gilbert. Thornton closed it out well. Didn't give up much on offense, and we lost 9-4. Doyle hit a home run for them. Chase Dollander is up. 5.70 ERA for them. Julio hits a homer. Raleigh hits a homer. Brian Wu definitely struggled here over the last month or so, maybe a month and a half. Bad outing from Emerson Hancock, who has been elite all year. Snyder was not good. Finally, Pomeranz, Thornton, and Salcedo kind of got things in control. But then we do end up winning the series 5-1. Home run from Rayleigh. Couple of steals along the way. Castillo, 11-9 on the season. Really good final start for him there. Now, of course, we get the big, bad Dodgers for the final stretch. Let's see. So, yeah, they've got the best record locked down. The Yankees are looking at 100 wins probably. Lost connection to the show. The stream's still going, okay. So, we'll see if something populates here. So, we get Clayton Kershaw, lose 5-0 there. Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it would be fun to play it, but got kind of bigger fish to fry here as I want to get ready for the playoffs. We do get a 6-1 victory over Shohei. Get home runs from Burleson and Rayleigh. Kirby with a phenomenal start here against a really good baseball team. We score 4 earned against Shohei. He's not been great as a pitcher this year, and the offense has been good, but obviously not the 50-50 kind of season that he had last year. Last game of the year will be against Tyler Glasnow. I think if we were going against Sasaki, I would probably hop in at least for a couple of innings. We're at 90 wins. See if we can get to 91 here to close the season out. Gilbert is working a no-hitter in the 7th. We're up 6-0. Last game of the year. Let's hop in. See what we can do here with Logan Gilbert trying to get a no-hitter in the last start of the season. Got the best ERA in baseball. Found a way to get to the middle of the pack and runs scored. We'll take a look at all that, though. There are your Rookie of the Year candidates here in the National League. Looks like Griffin Conine might get it. A 27-homer season. Sasaki was pretty solid, though. Here we go. Top of the 7th. 9 outs away from a no-hitter from Logan Gilbert.
A ball.
That is a wonderful fastball. He does not get the call on. Just 69 pitches in. Nice. It is a quick 0-2 count. They do at least have had a couple of base runners, it looks like. Fouls that one away. Not a good slider at all. 2-1 count. 2-2 count.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Asong Kim. Just kind of backdoor this slider. It's a great one. 8 outs away from a no-hitter here. Just his 3rd strikeout. Shohei Ohtani, 5 for 11 in the series with a triple and 2 doubles. Has not gone deep and does not have a hit in this game. Decent enough splitter.
Ball.
Oh, got to give me the call.
1 strike.
Give me the call. Foul fouls that fastball away. 1-2 count. With this slider, we can get to dip right below the zone. Pretty much a dead down the middle slider. Thankfully, just fouls away. Go curveball here. 1-2.
2-2.
Doesn't chase it. 2-2 now. Back to that fastball.
Just foul.
Just foul. Okay. No hitter still in play. Gonna try splitter low. 2-2 count. How's it away again? We're gonna try to get the fastball by him up and in. We've been all away.
Full count.
3-2. You're up 6-0. You're not overly worried. It is the Dodgers, though. He fouls off another splitter. Feel pretty good about getting a victory here and getting to 91 wins. It's another strikeout here. This one on Ohtani. 7 outs away. With a nice pitch mix there. Once he's hit 30 homers, saw that in the bottom right.
No, that's down.
Gilbert's got stuff is moving a lot, which is a positive. That is a bad location on the fastball. 1-1. 1-2. Get him to chase the curveball. See if we'll get the fastball by him up and away. We do. So he strikes out the inning, 6 outs away from a no-hitter here for Logan Gilbert in game 162. Gilbert right up there among the Cy Young candidates here at the end of the season. Skubal, though, just insane. He's just sensational. Clear leader, I would say, heading into this being the last game. All right. 6 outs away from the no-hitter. Fordo at the plate.
Be right.
Go. 0-2 count. Get him to chase this curveball.
Ball, go.
How are we not getting that call? Twice now, the Bumpers squeezed us, and that's here at home. 2-2 count.
Full count.
3-2 count now. What happens? You get a missed call there on the curveball. Really messed him up. Not able to get the fastball by him. The no-hitter bid here is over. I don't know if that ends the simulation there or not. It does not. Okay. We'll play it out. I think I just got to get through the inning now. So go 7 1/3, no hit.
Good. No ball. 2 strikes.
Just slider there had
No, that's a ball.
Hernandez way out in front. That ball is hit hard. Get to it, Randy. Just don't get out. There we go.
Ball. 1-0.
This is definitely a situation where I wish critical situation. After I gave up the hit, just kind of, seem like the rest of the game or whatever, I feel like would make more sense than this. That is the disgusting slider.
1 ball.
Go
2
breaking
strikes.
ball again here.
Ha!
Get him to chase. Probably.
No, he beat it.
Oh, that was just 2 outs. Okay. Sorry. Thought that was the 3rd out of the inning there. Again, the
Ball 1.
score bug there at the bottom with the little Twitch recording icon. It covers it up. That's why I don't like using this particular. Ooh.
You got it. I got it.
Gilbert's going to grab it. So he gets through 8, but does lose the no-hitter there. It's a 6-0. We'll return to simulating. Get the job done. 91 wins. We give up 5 runs in the 9th inning. So Gilbert comes out. Salcedo does not get anybody out. Gives up 3 hits, a walk, 4 earned runs. Max Muncy hits a home run. What in the world? Almost gave that one away. Julio ends up getting a stolen base, and Rosarena and Rayleigh. 26-27 homers there. That is going to end our regular season. 91 171. We win the AL West. So we accomplish, kind of the first goal is winning the AL West. We have made the playoffs. We are going to be playing in the division series against the Twins in a 3-game set. That will be what we take care of, though, in the next episode. So the first things first, we got some league leaders. We'll jump into that first. Victor Robles ends up leading the majors in stolen bases, looks like with 56, at least the American League. That is our only leader that we have. So we will take a look. I don't know how I want to do this. We'll do, you know what? Let's do, I like doing it more this way. So Robles ends up being a leadoff hitter for us all year, 141 games. Definitely had stretches where he was really, really good. He's had stretches like he's going through right now with the lower batting average. 681 OPS, obviously a step down from 24 and from 23. 23, much smaller sample size. But in the second most games he's ever played, what was Robles' WAR? I would certainly think it's positive. 1.7, so not bad. A 681 OPS, 8 homers, 56 stolen bases is at least good for the lead in the American League. We'll make sure that it's the major league leader, but that is at least what the little blurb said. No issues. Obviously, I want somebody with a little bit higher on base percentage, a little bit more upside. He's 27. We have him for another year. He's very likely to be a focal point for the offense in year 2, and I'm excited to use him in the playoffs. Did get some regression here, again, on his contact against righties. Everything else, though, I think progressed to a pretty good spot. J.P. Crawford is a guy coming into the franchise, really, really needed to have that bounce-back campaign. And I feel like we got it from him. 148 games, he stayed healthy, 722 OPS, 14 homers, 6 stolen bases. He got on base, 32 at a 336 clip, so 0.32 up from what he did last year. Slugging, obviously, it's not phenomenal, but an ISO of 141 is certainly not terrible from a shortstop that plays pretty good defense. Worth 3.5 wins. It ties his best season of his career. Not quite as good a hitter as he was in 2023, but was really, really good for us. Kind of bounced up and down the lineup. Again, we have him for another year. I have absolutely zero problems. 30 years old, should not regress, that much heading into next year. I think he's in a really good spot. Would love for that contact against righties to be higher, but a guy with his plate discipline, doesn't strike out a ton, and is a good lefty-lefty guy. Would like for him not to have to be a top-of-the-order player for us, but nonetheless. Obviously, Julio is the superstar. Unfortunately, saw a lot of regression here in the second half. Batting average dropped about 40 points, 30 points roughly there. From around the All-Star break time. I know heading into July, he was a top 3 guy for the MVP. He was hitting in the 280s. Kind of struggled heading into the All-Star break. Never really came back around. But it is a nice jump back up from 2024. And unfortunately came no real reason. The strikeouts are down, which was an improvement. But the average dropped almost 30 points from where it was in 2024. We saw the power come back up. Almost a 30-30 season. 792 OPS is kind of fringy for a guy that's supposed to be your superstar player. Looks like he just struggled to hit against lefties. Saw really nice progression with his power, though. Discipline, vision, nice jumps. Defense, nice jumps. He's the best center fielder in the game. It's just need a little bit more. And I think that heading into next year, I think you'll see a little bit more positive regression with his contact there against lefties. I think you're looking at a guy that obviously we have around for a long time, the entirety of this franchise. We're fine. We're okay. I'm not expecting – I would be shocked if this is not the lowest average on-base percentage combo that he has here in this series. 4.9 wins. Obviously, he was at like 4, heading into the All-Star break, 4.5, something like that. Did not add a lot of value in the second half, but certainly got more in line with where he started off his career. A nice rebound season. Was hoping for a little bit more. Thought we were going to get a little bit more for a large portion of the season. Cal Raleigh is definitely a guy that disappointed in some aspects this year. Saw big regression in his power numbers. His disciplined vision, clutch, really dropped along with his reaction and speed. But did see a pretty decent little boost here to his contact. And I think that's kind of the weird thing that we got out of Raleigh this year. Saw a big jump in batting average for him. He hit 250 this year. He's still just a 226 career hitter with this season. Saw a nice little poke up on his on-base percentage, but his slugging was way down after back-to-back 30 homer seasons with a 27 homer season before then. Only hit 18 this year. Strikeout rates are high. OPS drops here a little bit. But his WAR is exactly the same, 3.3, 3.3. You know, he's a very good defender, adds value with that, and hit enough, I guess, to offset, you know, from an average perspective, he hit enough, got on base just enough to kind of overcome that drop. He is heading into his last couple of years here as far as team control. Have to see kind of what happens next year, but certainly hoping I would take, you know, a 10-point drop in average for 5 or 6 more home runs. Burleson, guy we traded for, rock solid. I mean, definitely saw his stats drop. He's ending the season here playing fairly well. 17 homers, OPS of 699. It was like 730 when we got him. So again, having a bit of the Seattle effect. Saw his offense drop a little bit, but he helps out the middle part of that order. 17 homers, 13 stolen bases. Can draw a walk from you. For what we traded for him, I'm very happy with what he ended up putting up there for us. Saw some positive progression as well. Luke Raley, I mean, essentially was on his way to losing his job. He's the reason why we traded for Burleson to begin with. Had a really, really nice second half, 27 homers. Ended up with a 792 OPS. Now, obviously, that's not elite, but when you look at where he was at the All-Star break, barely hitting 200, finishes the season really, really strong. Homers in his last 3 games and 5 of his last 6. Ends up with 27 homers, 77 RPIs, just sub of 800 OPS. Yeah, I mean, really like what we've got in him now, and you feel comfortable having to utilize him. Obviously would like to find a way to not have him hitting a ton against lefties, but hits righties really well, can draw some walks. Definitely a positive second half for him. Jorge Polanco saw a positive jump up from where he was in 2024. Ended up with over a 700 OPS. 22 home runs is not his career high, but is very good for a second baseman that also plays a little third base for us. The average is obviously low. He walks enough to overcome that, to at least get above that 300 on base percentage, but slugged really, really well this year. I was pleasantly surprised with him. Saw nice progression everywhere except for his speed. Saw a big jump there in his lefty power. Plus 11 is outstanding. Arozarena, 727 OPS. So he ended the season pretty solidly. He was another guy that was really struggling around that Mendoza line. At the halfway point, ended up 361 over his last 10 games with a couple of homers. So really finished the season well. 727 OPS, up a little bit from where it was last year. This looks like kind of the average hitter he is going to be now, but a 424 slugging really saves his batting profile. Hit 26 homers with 21 stolen bases, again getting to that 2020 club now for the 5th year in a row. You're getting what you get with the Arozarena. We got one more year of team control on him. Looks like a guy that's going to be in the lineup. Dylan Moore is absolutely dreadful to hit with at the plate. You're getting really good defense out there. Hold on. I guess I should have looked. What was Burleson's WAR? Sorry, I'm kind of scatterbrained in this. He ended up being a negative WAR player, okay? Rayleigh was 1.6. Polanco ended up being a negative WAR player. I don't think I agree with that. Arozarena, 1. Dylan Moore, a -2 WAR guy. Essentially, he's a guy that ended up with Donovan Solano really getting off to a bad start. Ended up putting Dylan Moore into the lineup just as a guy that you know is at least going to give you good defense, right? He won the Gold Glove in 2024. He can't hit at all. Saw major regression against lefties. Just not good. A 481 OPS. He is definitely a guy that is entering. I have no plans on bringing him back. At best, he would be a bench player, at least what I would hope for. Maybe just as a glove, but not great. Mitch Garver was a DH for us against lefties. He mashes lefties. 762 OPS, hit 10 homers. Good on base percentage. I mean, really jumped up his average again after a bad 2024 from that aspect. Yeah, provided a lot of value really for us. And he is roughly a one-win player. No problems at all with that. Dominic Canzone was a guy that I seemed to hit well with. The computer did not in the sim, but he slugged enough with that 11 homers in 63 games. 714 OPS, saw a nice progression there in his power, but just a 298 on base percentage kind of limits you. Ended up being, essentially an even player from a WAR perspective. Cade Marlowe, barely played, dealt with injuries. Ryan Bliss, can't hit a lick. He's a Dylan Moore-esque type of player. Pretty good glove, weak arm. Got some speed to him. The bat is just not at all ready for a 25-year-old. He was a negative WAR player. Now let's take a look at our pitching rotation. So Kirby was really good. Obviously ended up with a losing record, but that's not the end-all, be-all. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but a 3.05 ERA is really strong. 22 home runs right along with what he's been doing. A 3.8 WAR, 3.61 FIP. So probably pitching a little above his head as far as his underlying stats would tell you, but a really good season. Gilbert almost got a no-hitter there in the last start of the season. 210 innings, 291 ERA. FIP a 3.39. Again, another guy that doesn't strike out a ton of batters. 21 homers, so he at least improved in that. Both of these guys are progressing. What was Gilbert's WAR? 4.5, so not quite as good as he was last year, but still really good. Brian Wu, for a large part of this year, was excellent. 182 innings, by far the most he's pitched. It seemed to wear on him a little bit later in the season. Did go 12-7, a 3.21 ERA. Again, not a big strikeout guy. Gave up the long ball to an extent. I actually saw regression as a 25-year-old, which is really weird. Ended up being a 2.8 WAR player, FIP a 3.91, so pitching a little bit above the underlying metrics. We'll take that, though. Luis Castillo was really consistent throughout the entire year. He is at least seeing progression that we didn't see out of Brian Wu, who I did look to, potentially give a long-term contract to. Kind of glad we did not see how that regression works for him next year. Luis Castillo, we got for a couple more years. He's a big money player for us. 3.22 ERA. Again, not a heavy strikeout guy, but was really good. I mean, threw almost 200 innings. Again, had a complete game shutout, 3.4 WAR, so a nice, not bounce back season, but certainly, it was a little step up. Underlying metrics looked like he was right in line with what he did last year, but, did improve with his homers per 9 given up, which is nice, along with some progression in his walks per 9, but obviously regression in his Ks per 9. Bryce Miller, 3.31 ERA, 9-12 record, 184 innings. Again, not a strikeout guy. Also not a guy that walks a lot of batters. He had 2 complete game shutouts. FIP of 4.02. When you only have 5.56 Ks per 9, that FIP is going to be higher than otherwise stated. But he's another guy. We're getting progression from pretty much everybody except for Wu. So that's just something to keep in mind as we head into next year. We got bigger fish to fry right now. Emerson Hancock was not on the hook for a loss this year. Only threw 36 innings, had a couple of bad outings toward the back half of the year. It really hurt him for a large portion of this season. He had an ERA around 3. Obviously didn't throw a lot of innings, but did have really nice progression, though, for a guy that didn't throw a whole lot into the 70s. I think that'd be fine if he was a 5th starter for us. Trent Thornton, really good, 2.88 ERA. Again, not a heavy strikeout guy, though. Colin Snyder, outstanding, a 2.03 ERA. Not a big strikeout guy, but one of the better ones we have here. Worth over 1 win. Need to get the Ks up just a little bit. Salcedo did struggle from an ERA perspective. Not a very good strikeout to walk ratio. We're not expecting him to be a superstar for you, a 4.58 FIP. So he's gotten maybe a little bit lucky, but you got to get more strikeouts if you're going to walk this many guys in a 53 innings. He's not going to be a guy that I'm going to want up in major moments in the postseason. Drew Pomeranz was outstanding in AAA, came up. Looked like he was okay over his last 10 outings, a 3.6 ERA. Just got off to a really bad start when we first called him up. Gave up 7 homers in 18 innings. Again, Not a guy that I'm going to be wanting to pitch really serious spots. Matt Brash, 270 RA, 96 strikeouts, 80 innings. Got the big fastball. Great slider. He's excellent. He's outstanding. 86 years old. The closer of the future. He's excellent. Feel really, really comfortable with him on the back end. Spire, I had a lot of success with, pitching with. He had a lot of success on his own. 60 Ks in 59 innings, a 3.20 ERA. Look, underlying metrics are maybe a little bit worse than the actual stats ended up being, but we will take it. And then Andres Munoz, our closer, ends up with 41 saves, 76 strikeouts, and just under 70 innings, a 2.58 ERA. The walks are a little troublesome, but they're not crazy. What is it? Yeah, about 5. FIP, pretty well right in line with what he ended up doing, though. So, really nice job. So, pitching staff was great. Sad to see the regression that we got there out of Wu, but saw some nice positives from the offense. Hopefully that does carry over. Let's take a look at our league leaders here. So your top 5 here for batting average. Got Henderson, Contreras, Duran, Aaron Judge, and Vlad Guerrero. For batting average hits, Bichette, Duran, Witt, Henderson, Altuve. In that standpoint, doubles, you had Duran, Henderson, Witt, Volpe, and Soler. Connor Norby is now, I guess, got traded over to the Astros. Ended up having the most triples in the American League. Pena, Thomas, Duran, Witt. For that, homers is Santander, Judge, Rooker, Alvarez, and Henderson. Julio just barely misses the top 5 there with his 33 homer season, but pretty much all to be the expected guys there at the top. RBIs, Santander, Judge, Stanton, Rooker, Low. Runs is Judge, Henderson, Vlad, Altuve, and Jonathan India. Robles does lead the majors in stolen bases, 56. Great performance from him. Garcia, Duran, Witt, Caballero there at the top. Dylan Moore did end up getting 29 steals. I missed that. Julio just misses the top 5 there by 5 stolen bases. If we take a look at OPS, it's Judge, Henderson, Alvarez, Devers, and Guerrero. Obviously a lot better than anybody we have on our roster from that standpoint. From wins, Matt Manning, Zach Eflin, Cole Reagans, Logan Gilbert, Rasmussen, Skubal, round out at least your guys tied for 5th. So Gilbert just missed that by 1 win. Freed, Reagans, Skubal, Gilbert, and are all tied for 1st in losses. Then Schmidt and Manning tied for 5th in that. It's Urseg, Bautista, Abreu, Williams, Holton. 5th or the top 5 in saves. Eflin, Freeze, Skubal, Springs, Ober. As far as your top 5 ERA guys, Gilbert is 8th in that category. Now let's take a look at strikeouts. Got Hunter Brown, Skubal, DeGrom, Crochet, Kikuchi there. Gilbert is 7th, actually, just threw a bunch of innings. But a pretty solid list there. And then innings pitched, Skubal, Freed, Gilbert, Bieber, Eflin there are your top 5. Kirby does slide into a top 10 spot in innings pitched. Whip is Skubal, Gilbert, Beebe, Ryan, Eflin. Pitching war is Skubal. Gilbert ends up 2nd. Crochet, Evaldi, and Lopez. Batting war, Bobby Witt overtakes Henderson with a big second half. Nice. That's cool to see. 2 outstanding shortstops, and Seager, Duran, Judge are your top 5. Julio ends up 11th in that category. We now do the same with the National League. You got Herrera does end up leading the league in batting average. That is crazy. Crazy. Cardinals have another excellent catcher to build around there. Bohm, Soto, Harper, Kepler does. He had a great year. Ended up playing 128 games. Really, really strong campaign for a guy that got for $10 million. Ended up playing a bunch of meaningful games for them. So that's cool to see. Hits, Turner, Ohtani, Bohm, Harris, Marcell Ozuna are your top 5. Doubles is Turner, De La Cruz, Shohei, Jacob Young. Nice. McCarthy, Harris, top 5 in doubles. Ellie, Bryce Turang lead the way in triples with Xavier Edwards, Suzuki, Shohei, and Carroll tied for 4th there, rounding out your top 6. Homers, Soto, Ohtani, Lindor, Harper, Ozuna, Teoscar Hernandez are your top 10. RBI, Shohei, Hoskins, Soto, Suzuki, Harper, round out your top 5 there. Runs, Shohei, Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Bohm. The Phillies were just disgusting at the top of that order. Stolen bases, Bryce Terang, if he doesn't get hurt. He played 127 games, so he may have definitely challenged Robles there for that crown. Acuna does end up tied for second. He did not have the great campaign, though, just a 238 average. Edwards, Carroll, McCarthy, Shohei are your top 5 there. In stolen bases, OPS is Soto, Harper, Shohei, Lindor, and Bohm, with Marcel just outside of that. So a really solid group. It's Sanchez, Steele, Sonny Gray, Paul Skeens, Luzardo, Eduardo Rodriguez, Nestor Cortez, and Zach Gallen are all guys that are at least tied for 5th. Or at least that's all those guys are actually tied for 3rd. And wins, losses is Webb, Suarez, Steele, Grant, Holmes had a nice campaign, looks like there for the Braves. Shohei, your top 5 for saves is Tanner Scott, Diaz, Strom, other Diaz, and Joe Jimenez. ERA, Skeens, Webb, Cortez, Imanaga, Justin Steele there. Let's go to strikeout. Skeens pretty easily leads the way in all of baseball. Just 200 strikeout guys in all of the majors. Glasnow, Senga, Strider, Blake Snell. Shohei just outside of that top 5 along with Yamamoto. And then let's go over innings pitched. Webb, Skeens, Steele, Sanchez, Nestor Cortez. And Whip, Imanaga, Skeens, Cortez, Steele, Sanchez. Pitching war, Cortez ends up leading the way. A really, really good second half for him. Last 10 starts, a 1.94 ERA. Imanaga right behind him. Paul Skeens, Justin Steele, Sonny Gray. Batting wars, Lindor, Shohei, Harper, Bohm, Ellie De La Cruz. Look at Michael Harris. Really, really strong season there. I would take that in real life in a heartbeat. Now let's go over the awards. I guess first of all, let's do we'll do all the players of the month. It's another thing we don't have September done. Okay, so we'll do the awards. Your MVP in the American League is Anthony Santander. It is Juan Soto in the National League getting it done. Great campaign. Cy Young, Skubal repeats. Gilbert just barely misses. Skubal was definitely better. No complaints, but hate that Gilbert was not able to get it done. Paul Skeens wins his first Cy Young. Outstanding campaign. Batting title goes to Henderson and Herrera. Reliever of the year goes to Ursig and then Tanner Scott. Rookie of the year goes to Jacob Wilson, who was solid. How much did Colson Montgomery play? 91 games, 100 for Teal, whereas Wilson played 138. So if Montgomery plays the whole season the way Wilson did, he might have won that award. But kudos to Jacob Wilson. Griffin Conine ends up getting the Rookie of the Year over Sasaki and Hassan Kim. Probably played more than even Kim did. Kim played 137. What did Conine play? 152. He had a great campaign, though. I mean, was that a 785 slugging with 27 home runs? Good on him. Hank Aaron goes to Aaron Judge in the American League. Juan Soto in the National League. Seth Lugo wins your Gold Glove as a pitcher. Brady Singer does in the National League. Alejandro Kirk, Francisco Alvarez, Christian Walker, and Bryce Harper. Simeon Estrada there for the Rockies. Played 139, okay. Ryan McMahon, another Rocky, wins it there at third base. Andy Ibanez does it for Detroit. Lindor wins it at short in the National League. Bobby Witt does it in the American League. Crawford finishes third there. Nice. Okay. Decent enough fielder. At least you know you're not getting many throwing errors. That's cool to see. Left field is Duran in the American League. Riley Green in the National League. Parker Meadows wins it in center field. Had no errors. Jacob Young does it for the Nationals. 25-year-old. A lot of good progression. Maybe the Nationals got another little player here. Okay. And then right field is Sal Frelick in the National League. Hunter Renfroe in the American League. Silver Slugger for the DH goes to Shohei in the National League. Brent Rooker in the American. Got Joey Bart at catcher. William Contreras in the American League got traded over. Got Christian Walker at first base. Bryce Harper. Got Jazz Chisholm at second. Ketel Marte. Rafael Devers. Alec Bohm. Gunnar Henderson does get the Silver Slugger over Bobby Witt at shortstop. Lindor, of course, wins it over in the National League. Then for the American League outfielders, you have Julio ends up finishing 5th, I guess, technically in this, because it goes Judge, Santander, Alvarez. Julio just got to hit higher than 246, my guy. Really all it is. That's a tough trio to beat there regardless. But, yeah, the National League is Soto, Teoscar, Michael Harris ends up getting Silver Sluggers with Castellanos and Tatis behind them. And, yeah, that is it. We are now going to take on the Minnesota Twins in the playoffs. So that's exciting. And let's see now, does it give us our player of the month for September? So we'll do just this right quick. See if we got any Mariners anywhere other than just Castilla there in September. We do not. And if you want to see the National League guys, Conine is probably going to win this a ton, I would guess. Okay. So, yeah, that will do it. This does end up being a 55-minute episode, at least as the time I'm recording it right now. But that will do it here for us. As far as the regular season of year one, we got kind of everything figured out, went over awards, went over stats. What you see is what you get. All the cold streaks there at the end of the season for Julio, none of that stuff matters. It's all about what you do now in October. We unfortunately do have to play here in this opening round. We did not get that second seed. That was really what I was pushing for here in this episode. We made it through September. We're in the playoffs here in year one. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe. Check out my Atlanta Hawks franchise and my Tulane Green Wave Dynasty on the channel as well. Really excited to be back, and we will be starting with the playoffs soon. It'll at least be a doubleheader to get things started. We'll have to see how much editing I need to do, so it's not like a 2-hour video. But yeah, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and until next time.